Good morning from Yami B TV TikTok, and we continue with my hardest, strongest, most toughest, and sometimes most dangerous men that I ever met during that lifetime in institutions in a prison setting. And today we talk about a man named Peter Tomo Thomas. I believe he's a traveller, gypsy, related to a big name family over the north of England. Because as far as I remember, I think he was either from Lancaster in between Manchester. Right, so a little bit background on him from what I know. He got a life sentence as a young kid, which means he would have been under 21 and ended up in the category A's, years later while I was still on the circuit. Now, a feature with a lot of hard men that I talk about over the years and having witnessed and listened to over a lifetime is they all seem to have remembered or told me that they got bullied when they was younger and then turned out that they wasn't having it no more and started to fight back. But I think it's a very, very true thing. But then I could say I got bullied when I was young, but I wasn't the hardest man, but still turned out to be not having it no more, if you get what I mean. Now, my first sightings of Thomo, Peter Thomas, right, was in the Cat A's and we was in the gym. He's about 6 foot, kind of Clint Eastwood looking. He was probably about 10 years younger than me, well built. He's got to be 85 to 90 kilos, but still relatively ripped with all the mass, right? We was in the gym and there was a powerlifting competition. I was the lightest there and I was flicking up the 200 and all that. And he came up, he goes, how the effing hell did you do all that? Play football, somersault round there, and you don't even eat? Because remember, I used to not really look after myself in there. And I was deadlifting all that weight and all that. But then I watched his training schedule and he used to do the 200 kilo for 10 reps, right? He used to go on the rowing machine after, right, and break records on there. He used to do circuits as well. So he's not just a fighter come weight trainer like walking around. He is a all-rounder, right? So obviously we started talking during that time. I sat with a Welshman in there called Luxy, so he was pretty close to him. One of the things I liked about Tomo as well, he never belittled people that took drugs or drank alcohol because he was relatively clean of those kind of things. He had that kind of aura of just do what you got to do, mate. You don't need to answer to me, and if I like you, I like you and look after you, which he did, right? Now, the first encounters of his fighting skills. One time he was in the gym and the gym orderly, Tomo's got a funny sense of humour as well. He started dropping jokes about his shorts because they was too tight. But the geezer never really took kind to it. And when they went into the hall after, he said, listen, he tried to get funny. But I was thinking to myself, you won't be able to walk up to Tomo and talk that. He doesn't really set it on people. He's very passive and cool, and especially the way he done his time as well as a life sentence prisoner. So the geezer's throwing two punches, but Tomo's just made him look a bit silly. But he was a big lump as well. Tomo hit him with one. He was on a penny and said to him, listen, don't do it, mate. Sorry if I offended you, but whatever you do, don't swing after me. The second one was a well-known name on social media from South London, and it's very interesting why I don't. Certain men come out and start talking about other men in prison, talking about men that protected them in prison as well, and come out here and start slagging them off. But I know different because I was there, and he got into a swaggering where he was swaggering past Tomo, and I think it was Stevie Lydia walking past, said, "You lot boy there," and all. Tomo, again, I said to myself, you stupid idiot, you're going to come unstuck here. When they came down the stairs, Tomo said to him, what you saying? He put up his hands like he wanted to fight. He can't really fight with his hands. Tomo just gave him a left hand. He was on the floor. He didn't kick him or nothing. He left him. While the geezer was on the floor, right, he said, I'm going to get Gary Nelson onto you. Tomo went, and walked off. Let's not say nothing. The other one was the big battle, right, when it kicked off with Sam Cole, Warren Slaney, Stevie Lydia, a geezer from Lincoln as well. I'm not going to mention his name, I liked him. And Tomo, because sometimes it can all go wrong. And Gary Nelson, it all went bananas one day when everybody fell out over one incident, right? So Slaney, Tomo likes all sides. Stevie Lydia spoke to all sides. Everybody used to get on with each other. Slaney was going to have a fight with someone, ended up throwing a punch at someone else. Someone else has got involved, said, listen, drop it out. They started having a little scrap, not much of a scrap. And then the original guy that had the argument with Slaney from Lincoln started swinging at someone else, and Tomo took him on and bang, put him on the floor. This geezer from Lincoln was a massive, super fit, strong as well. So with Tomo, there's no discrepancies or inconsistencies about whether you're a lump, whether you're small, whether you're big, whether you're strong, whether you can't have it, whether you can have it. He takes on all comers, and up to them 3 times there. That's the third one. I'm still waiting for him to take a punch now. All right, so that one ended okay in the end. Everybody kind of fell out, but you know they all got back together later on. One of the things I respected him as well, a big man from South London came up to him the day after that fight and said to him in the gym, "Listen, did you throw a punch at me?" Now, to me, even though I loved the other guy more than Tomo because I got more history with him, Tomo's looking at him and goes, "Nah, never, mate." But he was facing him. He goes, "Oh, all right then, all right." But when Tomo was leaving, I said to Tomo, "What, Tom, what you saying?" He goes, "Yeah, I mean, look, I'm younger, they got money, they got, you know, they're big gangster names and all that, you know. I mean, I'm just a gypsy traveller who can just look after myself." And he goes, "I was just waiting for him to crack me because I'll give him that first chance so he can hit me first because of his status." I thought, wow. I goes, "But Tom, in my mind, I think, Tom, what if he hits you first and he can't?" But he seemed confident enough. I believe Tomo would have beat him, but you know what I mean? But Tomo was basically saying, "I'll give you a respect first," but he's saying he was waiting for the crack on his jaw before he responds first. That last one on Perry read up by the pool table, people getting cheeky because he doesn't really start arguments or fights. Tomo is too cool, right? And a man, another, you get cheeky, you say the wrong thing, bang, you end up on the floor, right? But all in all, oh, don't lose your train of thought, yeah, me. All in all, I liked him. I really like Peter Thomas, right? He was respected by all as well, and there's a lot of love for him. Now, here he's out now. Am I getting him on my show? But he's turned his life around, married now, kids. Remember, he went away when he was really young. It'd be good if he sees this and he gets in touch with me. Because as a man, I believe, never looked down on no one. Favoured the vulnerable and the weak, which is what I was saying earlier about men that get bullied and think when they're younger, you notice they will stick up for the underdogs because they know what it feels like. Like I said earlier, right? I had a lot of travellers will know this as well. I can't remember if I mentioned it at the start of this video. But I used to hear they used to put him in the car when he was younger because when he used to get bullied and all that, and they used to drive him up the road and say to him, "Listen, you're going to get out of the car and you're going to fight," and all that. That is a theme over the years that I mentioned for the travellers. And the other thing, of course, I knew there was something, was when they used to all go sparring in the gym, he used to spar with another traveller called Johnny James, right? You could have a right row as well, Johnny James. And I used to think, my days, they used to go at it. I don't know how people can spar sensibly without egos getting involved and all that. But that was the other feature. And he used to spar with a lot of men in the gym as well. I don't put him as my number one in my age group because simply because he was too younger. But sometimes I wonder with being 8, 10 years younger, sometimes I often wonder if he would have done everyone. But then I think that about a lot of those hard men that had all the skills in all departments on certain days, it's quite possible that everyone could beat everybody. But altogether, Peter Thomas, I loved you dearly, man. You was proper stuff, man.